welcome to another episode of Coffee and a Chat with Dave. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you're going to like it. And I picked up another subject today that is very, very touchy, which is pride and ego in business, leadership, and management. Pride, ego, balanced version, balanced amount. Many of us would agree that balanced version of that combination is healthy. It's healthy in a competitive world when you're dealing with your personal life and everything else. Pride is healthy. Your accomplishments, you're very proud of it. Your achievements, proud of it. Your family, your friends, your car, your house, your income, your everything. Pride is very healthy and it keeps you competitive. What doesn't keep you competitive is when your pride grows into an ego. Have you ever heard that phrase when they say, about 15 minutes before he arrives, you can feel his ego in a room? People have built their pride into an ego, and it's grown so much that ego arrives about 15 minutes before he does. This is where it becomes a problem, and this is how it starts. Misguided pride is like a heavy weight strapped around your waist. Neither you can fly with it or swim with it. It can only drag us to the bottom of the boundless ego abyss. The greatest ignorance is the cause of many grave deceptions and manipulations against people and societies. Pride is a specific feeling through which the ego expresses itself. One can be proud of any unimportant and meaningless things. It's okay if you're proud of meaningful stuff, your achievements, your accomplishments, as I mentioned earlier. But when that starts growing, you start being proud of any unimportant and meaningless things. That's where the ego starts growing. It's building to that point where it arrives about 15 minutes before you do. Ego is as an octopus with countless tentacles. It feeds on all forms of ignorance. But when it starts feeding on arrogance, we have a problem. So you're trying to highlight your difference, that you're different than someone else, investing your pride that grows into ego. It's like a stock market. Pride egoistic stock market. In order to survive, the ego extends its achievements to grotesque proportions. The danger is when we identify ourselves with an imaginary image of ourselves. We're building a false personality. Although in today's society, due to misconception, pride is considered a virtue. All kinds of pride can destroy a person, enslave him, and take him in the wrong direction, a cause of hatred and intolerance. Your pride doesn't give you that opportunity to tolerate and love and be kind. The results are obvious and exist in selfishness in relationships, how personal, so professional, in which we lack love and care for others. Kindness is a vehicle of love. Humanity will flourish in a man only when he develops inner serenity. You can be highly educated and hold a super high position, but if you have no human values, can you be considered as a decent human being? So what do we do first? First, we dismiss all the bad qualities and start practicing good human values, trying to remove our own bad thoughts and feelings. Only when you cultivate love and walk the path of truth and morality will you and your organization grow and prosper. And that is your first and foremost duty: kindness. The truth is the basis of all friendships and relationships, personal or professionals. personal values of integrity and character. The most important aspects of a human being. Whatever your good deeds, it will be of no use to you if you don't get rid of all these bad qualities. Always go the way of truth and morality. A cause, initiative, or organization without morality is doomed to degenerate and decay. And it's the pride as one of the significant components of our character that always blossom whenever your mind surrenders to our ego. You surrender to your ego, you're done. You don't keep your pride in check, ego takes over. It is necessary for us to address our pride and ego more often because that's our most important task in life. To know ourselves and then begin to break down our ego. We fight in vain without external situations unless we first clear our internal, selfish, greedy, and often even terrified ego. Ego is the barrier between us and the world around us. Our exterior is the image of our interior. All our positive spiritual knowledge is not validated in practice if we don't live it. Our soul is almost hardly recognizable in the presence of one of our internal aggressive agents who controls our reason and directs the flow of our thoughts and actions, and which is the moment when pride goes into an ego. The ego overshadows our free spiritual consciousness, takes over our emotional mechanism and thoughts. It conquers our body. In other words, we no longer hear the faint voice of our soul, and without thinking we surrender to the initiatives of our ego, whose dark cloud almost completely overshadows our inner sun. It is very difficult to recognize our ego in us because it's constantly changing. A proud man's intellect works in a very abnormal way, and such a man lives far from the truth, mostly affecting business owners, leaders, and managers. But once you start progressing from the bottom of the ladder all the way to the top, somewhere midway, you're getting started affected by that nagging feeling of pride. I did it. Yes, you did it. But don't go from pride to ego. If you're a leader or manager or business owner, it's okay to be proud of your achievements and accomplishments. But if you allow that pride to cut the connection and sync between your heart and your mind, you lost the battle. You lost the war. You're going to lose your pride to ego. Ego wins. Most traditional leadership aims to change the way you think, asking you to reflect on who you are and who you'd like to become. Increase your self-awareness first. Define your leadership purpose, your values, and yourself. And these insights, once you realize who you are really, those insights will guide your leadership journey. The way we think is a product of past experiences, and if you find yourself suffering from the symptoms of, I call it, pride egoistic tendencies, it's time to change. Time to change ways of approaching and doing your work. Change the ways you're approaching new relationships and new ways of connecting and engaging with people around us. It's time to change how we see our strengths and weaknesses. It's time for feedback. Ask someone who is not afraid to tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. No matter how much strategic you might be and how compelling your ideas are, if no one else buys in, not much happens. They buy in because you have somehow connected with them personally, on that personal level. Pride and ego is a grim reaper of personal connections and professional relationships. To avoid falling into pride egoistic trap, keep checking within. Maintain a strong coherence between what you believe in, what you actually do, and who you really are. Your mind, your heart, and your personal values have to be in a strong, unbreakable connection and sync. Only then you're able to keep your pride and ego in check. Never allow your pride to grow into an ego. It will not end good unless we have some superficial reasons to be egoistic about everything. Then let people know that you have an ego the size of the Empire State Building and they'll be fine with you. If you are a leader or business manager, your leadership and managerial values will be destroyed in the presence of ego. Leadership is a choice, not a position. If you take that as a position, ego will eat you alive, and no one else will support you in getting rid of it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I sincerely appreciate your ongoing support. Thank you once again. And if you didn't have a chance to subscribe yet, please do so. That helps us grow our channel. Your likes, your shares, your comments, your engagement, it means to us everything. Your feedback is priceless to us. And if you have an opportunity to share our videos on your social media platforms, again, that helps us a lot. Thanks once again, and if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I will personally answer all your questions. Up until the next video, take care of yourself and each other.